Welcome to IAS project. In this video, let's learn about Brahmanas, Aranyakas and Upanishads. Previously, we have talked about Veda Samhitas. We have talked about Rig Veda Samhita, Sama Veda Samhita, Yajur Veda Samhita and Atharva Veda Samhita. And then we stated that each Veda Samhita has associated Brahmanas, Aranyakas and also Upanishads. Now, let's talk about Brahmanas. Brahmanas are basically texts that contain ritualistic formulae for sacrifices. We know that sacrifice basically means yajna. So how this yajna has to be performed has been written in Brahmanas. That is why we say that Brahmanas contain ritualistic formulae for sacrifices. Since the ritualistic formulae is nothing but a type of action that needs to be done, we can call Brahmanas as part of Karmakhand. We already know that Karmakhand are basically such part of Vedic literature which deals with action or rituals. Since the Brahmanas contain ritualistic formulae, we can call Brahmanas as part of Karmakhand of Vedic literature. And these Brahmanas especially explain social and religious meanings of rituals of sacrifice. That is why they explain about the science of the sacrifice. Please remember these terms: science of sacrifice, explain, as well as ritualistic formulae of sacrifices. If you want to write about Brahmanas, then it should definitely have the words ritualistic formulae for sacrifices, explain social and religious meaning of rituals of sacrifice, and also science of sacrifice. So we can say that these are basically the key words. So previously, when we talked about Samhitas, we have learned that Rig Veda basically contains prayers, whereas Sama Veda contains melodies of the prayers that were there in Rig Veda. Whereas Yajur Veda contains the ritual actions that needed to be done when conducting the sacrifice. And Atharva Veda has charms and spells for warding of evil spirits and also for curing of various diseases. So this is about Samhitas. Whereas Brahmanas, they contain ritualistic formulae for sacrifices. So this is the difference between Brahmanas and Samhitas. However, Brahmanas also contain some other materials. For example, Brahmanas also contain scientific knowledge of Vedic period. Particularly, they contain scientific knowledge of later Vedic period. This statement simply means that from Brahmanas also, we can understand about society, economy and religion during later Vedic period. Another difference between Veda Samhitas and Brahmanas is that Veda Samhitas are basically mantras, whereas Brahmanas are not mantras. Brahmanas are basically explanations. And what do they explain? They explain the meaning of the rituals of sacrifice. Let me also highlight you what is the difference between Yajur Veda and Brahmanas. Yajur Veda also deals with rituals, but it says how the rituals have to be conducted. Whereas Brahmanas explain the meaning of such rituals. I hope the distinction is clear between Yajur Veda and Brahmanas. Initially, there were many Brahmanas. However, with time, these Brahmanas are now lost. So as of today, we only have somewhere around 20 Brahmanas that are surviving. That is why many Brahmanas have been lost, only few are surviving today. And the last point here is that each Veda Samhita has several Brahmanas attached to it. That is why the Brahmanas, Aranyakas and Upanishads are also called as ancillary to the Veda Samhitas. If we talk about some of the important Brahmanas, then we have Aitareya Brahmana and Kaushitaki Brahmana, which are both associated with Rig Veda. And we also have Shatapatha Brahmana that is associated with Yajur Veda. Some other Brahmanas are also given here. You don't need to remember all these Brahmanas. But if you want to remember, please try to remember only these two. Aitareya Brahmana is associated with Rig Veda and Shatapatha Brahmana is associated with Yajur Veda. So we have learnt about what is the difference between Veda Samhitas and Brahmanas. Let me give you a brief distinction or difference between Brahmanas and Aranyakas. Brahmanas are actually meant for Grihastha people, whereas Aranyakas are meant for Vanaprastha people. We did not talk about what is Grihastha and what is Vanaprastha yet. We will talk about that when we discuss Ashrama system of Hinduism. But let me give you a brief information about Ashrama system, okay? Ashrama system simply says that human life is divided into different parts. For example, initially it says that human life has to go through what is called as Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya simply means bachelorhood. It also can be understood as student life. After Brahmacharya, one has to go through the responsibility of Grihastha. Grihastha means household life. It simply means that a person has to marry, then the person should have children, and then other duties of marriage like educate the children, take care of household, and all those aspects. After Grihastha is over, one has to go through what is a process called as Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha is basically a type of partial retirement from the world. And after Vanaprastha, the last stage is called as Sannyasa. Sannyasa is the stage of life where the person is seeking moksha. Moksha means liberation from the world. So these are basically the 4 stages of life that are described in the Hindu religious texts. Please note that I am not using the word Vedic literature here because only first 3 stages have been discussed in later Vedic period. But after that, the 4th stage was also added. That is why I say that ashrama system belongs to Hindu religious literature. It is not correct to use the word Vedic literature. Anyway, let's go back to Brahmanas and Aranyakas. Brahmanas are actually meant for Grihastha people, which means that the people who are living a household life, they have to study Brahmanas. And after studying the Brahmanas, they have to conduct the sacrifices and rituals. However, Aranyakas are usually meant from Vanaprastha stage of people. In Vanaprastha, the word Vana actually means forest. Similarly, in Aranyaka also, the word Aranya actually means forest. That is why the stage of life where you are spending in the forest, partially away from your household, in that place you have to study Aranyakas and then you have to use the knowledge of these Aranyakas in case of sacrifices. So this is the difference between Brahmanas and Aranyakas. We will learn more about ashrama system towards the end of later Vedic period lectures. Please like and subscribe. You can download this presentation from our Telegram channel. The name of the channel is IAS Project. You can find the link for this channel in the description section below. Thank you.